boogity boogity. That's what Dale Waldrop would say. He would say it is time to race. It is time to talk about fast cars, fun cars, these mountains, and the liquor that produced many NASCAR drivers. And these mountains are full of people now, full of tourists, full of folks just kind of sitting back, laying back. But once upon a time, these mountains were full of guys just making a living, and they were making a living making the liquor and then having a driver come and pick it up and drive it very, very fast to its delivery destination. Many of the delivery destinations were in Atlanta because Atlanta didn't have any moonshiners like these mountains did. Now, if you've been over to Dawsonville lately, you know that there is a museum in honor of Thunder Road, and today we're going to share some of my favorite music, my favorite memories, and my favorite cars with y'all. But one of the things I want to share is the family that really kept me in racing until the loss of the Earnhardt gang. And when the Earnhardt gang retired, I kind of left racing. I still love to watch Chase Elliott, and I still love to watch Chandler Smith. But other than that, I'm kind of out of racing right now. But this is a cover from a magazine from 2005. And it says, "Gentlemen, start your engines." We know that sound. We know how it vibrates the ground as that race starts. But that race really started in these North Georgia mountains. These North Georgia mountains from Dawson County to Gilmer County to Fannin County to Blairsville to all the northern counties. That's how folks made a living. And when we think about, we drive on these roads today and we're like, oh, it's hard to drive to Bent Tree because they have curvy roads. Can you imagine hauling moonshine on these curvy roads? Well, a lot of folks you know did it, and a lot of my family did it. And when I went over to the cemetery the other day, I got to studying about it. I've been studying a lot lately. And I was walking around the cemetery looking, and I thought, well, I have 7 uncles who all did moonshine, and they're all buried over at Mount Vernon Cemetery. And I was going, wow, this is so weird. The history of NASCAR truly started in the mountains of North Georgia. And there's a gentleman who still lives here in Gilmer County. And if NASCAR had ever known about Ronnie Cantrell would have been a Dale Earnhardt. He would have been that guy that was the intimidator. He was the one. He was the cool dude. He was the one that had to have had nerves of steel. So, and that's what got Dale Earnhardt where he went in life. And sadly, I was just watching the playback of the day that he wrecked, and wow, it's been all those years later and is still so very emotional for me. That was the day that my racing fun ended, because even though I liked Little League and I really followed his career, he wasn't his daddy. He just wasn't his daddy, and nobody will ever take his daddy's place. And when you look at that face, I buried my husband in a Dale Earnhardt dress shirt. We went to Newton, North Carolina to DEI, and I bought a red dress shirt, a white dress shirt, and then I went and got him some black Wrangler jeans because I just didn't know what to bury him in, and I kept thinking, what makes him happy? Dale Earnhardt Racing made him happy. So when he went to meet Jesus, Jesus probably said, well, were you a winner or a loser? And he probably said, I'm a winner either way. That is the wreck that took the life of, in my opinion, NASCAR's greatest driver ever. And again, he was the intimidator. He was the best. And, you know, we've seen wrecks that looked worse than that, but because Dale had unhooked his Hans device, I think that may have been what threw that fatal blow. But today, racing is much safer. As Chandler Smith is on the track, as Chase Elliott's on the track, as all the new gang is on the track, it's a little bit safer because they have mandated things that now will protect the drivers more than Dale Earnhardt was protected that horrible day. There's no way racing will ever come to what it was, in my opinion. It's just not what it was. But the music industry has taken, the music and the theater industry has taken cars and made them, we've got Dukes of Hazzard, and we know what car they drove. Do you know what car they drove? And we have, you know, when you think about Jan and Dean and a car that they drove in a fatal wreck in a song, do you know what car they drove? And we know that there's a man named Wilson Pickett, and he did a song about a car that my roommate and my buddy back in the 60s drove. And do you know what that car was? There's so many songs that were done about cars, and we're going to share little blippets of those cars. Now, there's a gentleman here in Ellijay who actually wrote a song called Little GTO, and I've had him on the show before. And it was so funny to me because I grew up loving GTOs. I never owned one, but I loved them. And when I met Dr. Ron Clark, I thought, this is weird. You just can't be the same dude that wrote that song. Oh, yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. So it was a lot of fun having him on. And when we look at the music, we look at the cars. If you say, who's the star of Smokey and the Bandit? Well, who's the star of Smokey and the Bandit? The Trans Am is, of course, because that Trans Am jumped, wrecked, did all kinds of craziness. And if you look at the movie, you know, if you also look at that movie, there's also a tractor and trailer in that movie that is a star. So cars play a big part in our life, whether it's in a song or in a movie. When you watch Starsky and Hutch way back when we think about it, you know, Thunder Road with Robert Mitchum was one of those. I can remember being a kid sitting in the living room with my mama watching Thunder Road and black and white TV, and she was saying, that's the way we grew up. That's what Daddy did. That's what Uncle Glenn did. That's what Uncle so-and-so. They all did that. That's what they did. It was to put food on the table. It was not to get rich or to become a criminal. It was literally to put food on the table, and that's what Moonshine did. Now today, Gilmer County is filled with wineries, and they are all legal. We have vineyards everywhere, and there's all kinds of wine, all kinds of craft brews. You can drink any and everything you want. So Gilmer County is once again growing that vine. They're not having to go to the river. They're not having to haul those big 50-pound bags of sugar to go somewhere on the side of the creek and hide and make moonshine. They're doing it legally, and boy, has it been successful. So today we're going to share some little blippets of music with you. We're going to share some racing recipes, and we're going to share a couple of interviews that we did. And one of the interviews was with Chandler Smith when he was a little bitty feller, and he was a tiny little feller. Now he's all grown up, he's a dad, and he is a winning race car driver from right in Pickens County, and that is so cool. And then Chase Elliott from over in Dawson County, he's winning races. We are blessed with some pretty good drivers. You'd have thought Ronnie Cantrell had taught him how to drive. But if you liked racing and you love the Earnhardt family, get on. I found this magazine as a collector's item years ago. And I try to keep the stuff with Earnhardt, and this is one of my pride and joys. This is the Earnhardt number 3. And this is a Matchbox car. No, Riker will never get to play with this one. Never, 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 never. And this is Dale Jr. when he was number 8, and this is a Christmas ornament. So I still like collecting NASCAR stuff. It's still pretty cool to me. I'm an old lady, and I still like collecting this stuff, and I still do. And I had a tractor and trailer of this, and like a nut, I sold it. I sold it to somebody. But they wanted it worse than I did, I guess I could say. But I'm keeping these 2 tiny little Matchbox cars. So if you're out flea marketing or going somewhere and you're looking around, look for the number 3s and look for the number 8s because they're highly collectible. And put them up. Put them in a cabinet and keep them and take care of them. This morning, I was going to wear a Dale Earnhardt shirt. I used to have 50 of them. I don't have one now. I don't have one now, and it blows my mind. I know who I gave my last one to, and I know that he appreciates it because he's like me. He loves Dale Earnhardt racing. So it's so weird to me because I went to the closet, went through 2 closets, and I kept saying, where's that shirt? Where's that shirt? Had no Earnhardt shirts left over, and I was truly, if you saw me, I had on a black number 3 t-shirt. That's just the way I dressed for a long, long time. I guess I've grown up, maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. But today we are going to share some recipes. We're going to share some fun. We're going to share some music. And we're going to hopefully get you to remember, what was your favorite car? You know, as a teenager, I can tell you, if a guy asked you out when you were telling your girlfriends, so-and-so asked me out, What's the first question your friend said? Well, what kind of car does he drive? Well, he drives a 66 Chevelle, the most popular car around, and let me show you. Let me show you. See this? This, in my opinion, is the best car ever made. And we're going to share some pieces and parts of a build that is going on. This build is 2 years into the works, and the engine is almost done. It's really looking amazing. But if I tell you, go find yourself a 66 Chevelle and find a 138, what would you be looking for? Do you know? How many of you guys sitting out there know? A 138? Matching numbers, 138 Super Sport Chevelle. Don't just go buy a Chevelle, buy a Super Sport Chevelle. The bad thing about Super Sport Chevelles, the only bad thing about them, is as you get older, I'd rather have an automatic. I'd just rather have an automatic. The 4-speed is the best for the engine performance and all that stuff, but I just want an automatic just to cruise around in. So, but I love this picture, and I think that's really, really cool. That shows exactly what I used to have, and we're going to share some pictures with y'all now of a Chevelle that is in the works, and it is very much in the works. That was 2 years ago. And just picked it up, ready to get it going, and it is going strong now. And we hope in the next 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, it'll be finished. But it's so weird, y'all. It's a piece here and a piece here, and you have to look, and you have to find all the parts. This came all together. This is a matching numbers Chevelle. Now think about that. It is a matching numbers 138 Super Sport Chevelle. It's not just a Chevelle, it's a Super Sport Chevelle. It's the kind that, Ronnie Cantrell was a Ford man, but if he'd ever driven a Chevrolet, he'd have wanted to drive a Chevelle. He would have chosen a Chevelle, I think. So, but that Chevelle is one of those, and there's where you're paying for the thing, and you're getting your paperwork. And, yeah, a bargain, probably a bargain compared to, with all the parts and all the pieces and all the matching numbers. Yeah, it was probably a bargain. But it's 2 years in the works now, and 2 years to get it together, get it fixed, and it had no body work to be done. You think about that. No body work. It was amazing. Everything, it didn't have any rust. It was amazing. So it is a project that some very special folks are working on, and it's exciting. It's exciting to see it come together. And if you are a guy who loved the old cars, if you're a girl who couldn't wait to go out on a date with a guy who drove a GTO or a Mustang or a Camaro or like Bandit, a Trans Am, then you remember the music and the memories of the coolest cars. They don't make cool cars like this anymore. They don't make anything like this anymore. They make these electric cars that you just, oh my gosh, don't even get me started. What happened to the car industry? We had the coolest cars ever. And now we have this stuff, these little things that are made out of tin cans. But you talk about fun. There's nothing like a car show and going and remembering those special days. And if you get out and go to a car show, take some pictures and create yourself a video and put it to music. It's just fun to look at. It's fun to watch. It's fun to talk to folks about the cars that they've restored. I actually met a guy down in Canton who had restored a little Ford coupe just like one I used to have. And I said, what was the original color of this? And they said burgundy. And I thought, oh my gosh, I wonder if it was my car, because I don't remember the ID number on it, but mine was burgundy, and they redid it, and it was white. Now, this is a car that has, it won a lot of shows up in the Chicago area, and it's amazing to me because it's gone around the world, and it's back in ball ground now. But it was very strange because it is one of those, it sounds good, it looks good, and they're very popular now, but there was a time that they just kind of were passed by and sat over in pastures and had to be redone. But cool car, great ride, and that is the best car ever, a 66 Chevelle. Mine was an automatic, and Teddy Duncan, thank you, thank you, thank you. I will forever love you for building that car. That was the car that I had the most fun in my whole life. I loved that car. There just aren't any like them because it was an automatic. That's another one I had that was an automatic, and I like the automatics. And that's, you know, it's kind of what I'd love to have again. One day I'd love to have an automatic 66 Chevelle. And it's just a cool sound, cool ride, comfortable car. Now that's what old geezers drive around. Oh, I'm going to get slapped for that. That is the coolest truck. That is really a cool truck. And you've seen it a lot around town, and you all know who owns it. And yeah, so, and then that one, what's the TV program that car came out of? How many of y'all sitting out there know? And sadly, because of controversy, which is so stupid because you can't take away history, they don't even play the Dukes of Hazzard anymore because it has a rebel flag on top of the car. Get over it, people. It has a rebel flag because the Civil War really happened, so it's crazy. And I bet you recognize that if you've been speeding in your Dodge Coronet or in your Charger or in your Chevelle, you might have seen one of those behind you. And you know who was driving that? Barney or Andy was driving that. So a lot of cool cars, a lot of cool memories, and a lot of fun. We're going to share some recipes with y'all today. But first, we're going to take you to a commercial break, and then we're going to come back and we're going to lead into some NASCAR guys that probably, when they were little boys, said, I want to grow up and be a NASCAR really superstar, and they are getting there. You're going to get to see them in just a minute.
Whether you're in the mood for chicken strips, a delicious burger, our classic banana split, or an upside-down thick blizzard treat, we've got you covered. Hot and fresh food every day, every time. And delicious DQ soft serve make the perfect pair at your favorite place. Not fast food, fan food fast. Your Blue Ridge, Ellijay, and Jasper Dairy Queens are your meet, eat, and treat headquarters.
Thank you for choosing DQ. How may I serve you?
Georgia Medical Treatment Center now has 2 locations to bring you the high-quality holistic care you've come to know and expect. We treat neck, back, and joint pain with chiropractic care and injection-based treatment without the need for surgery or prescription painkillers. Our medical weight loss program can also provide relief while ridding your body of toxins, pounds, and inches while improving your overall health. Call today for a free consultation, 770-345-2000, or go online to georgiamtc.com.
You know, how you feel on the inside is just as important to me as how you feel on the outside.
Oh, Daddy. I'm grown up in every way, care and take care of you. You're my grown up and I know you're there. You're grown up and you know I care. 'Cause it's you and me and me and you. So when you are okay or not okay, I'll take care of you.
Misty mountain, rainbow sky, a faraway look in your eye. Tell me, have you had enough? Traffic jams and city stuff. Don't you think it's time to go where black bears climb and waters flow? Hummingbirds out on the deck, feet propped up, and what the heck?
Whether you're swimming in the sea or splashing in the pool, making a masterpiece, or just making memories, writing a great American novel, or writing your term paper that's due tomorrow. Whatever you do in life, Farmers is here to protect it. For all your insurance needs, call Donald Curtis in Blue Ridge.
We're in Gainesville, Georgia with Chandler Smith, who has been racing quarter midgets for how long, Chandler? How long have you been racing? Well, I've been watching you for a couple of years. You started out with go-karts, didn't you? Did you win in go-karting? You did not. You won once, okay. Why did you move to quarter midgets? Do you like it better than go-karts? You had a bad wreck? Well, I've seen some bad wrecks in go-karts. It's scary, isn't it? Now, how old are you right now? 7. And your family's from Jasper. Can we tell everybody who your mom is? Yeah, I know who your mom is. Who's mom? What's mom's name? A lot of people will know your mom. That's right. Lori McGee, right? Yes, you do. You still call her that? Well, let's talk about your family and racing. Your family's helped you a lot, haven't they? Those two have too. Mom and Grandma are at every race. I always see your mom and your grandma. Almost every race.
Not almost either.
Well, are you going to be going to North Carolina next weekend? And what are you going to be racing there?
Quarter midget.
Okay, what town are you going to be in? Do you know? But a lot of travel going on in your life right now? Yes? Okay. Now, how many miles away from home have you been racing?
I have no idea.
Have you been to Florida? You have? Okay, that's a long way from home. Do y'all travel in a motorhome or do you just get motel rooms? How do you handle that? Yeah, that's an easy way to do it, isn't it? Well, you won. Did you win your heat race today?
All of them.
You did. Well, good for you. And we're going to take a break right now, and you're going to come back out on the track in just a little bit. You're going to win that one too? Absolutely. Now let's talk about safety issues. Did you wear a Hans device today when you raced? That's important, isn't it? There was a wreck right before you raced, and that kid was hurt. Not too bad. He came off the track a little bit banged up, a little bit beat up. Has your car ever been banged up and beat up? Not this one? Good. Good. Well, have you got anything you want to say to kids who may be out there wanting to encourage their parents to let them race? No? No? Just go for it? Okay. All right. Thanks.
How y'all doing out there? Welcome to Ellijay. That's with a J.
About 90 miles north of Atlanta, where the Coosawhatee lay. They come out of the hills to pay their telephone bills in a town called Ellijay. When the mayor drove a shiny 62 Corvette, Slim was in a cruiser with a Cobra jet. What you see is exactly what you get if you come to Ellijay. Hey, Ellijay, a mighty fine place to be. Ellijay, good enough for you and me, yeah. Apple blossom, baby possum, muscadine wine. Leave all your troubles at the welcome sign. I'm so proud to call a piece of this mine a town called Ellijay.
How you like them apples?
Run right through the middle of town, and late in the evening when the sun goes down, you can drive through and hear the happy sounds of the folks in Ellijay. Now way back in the summer of '73, the Red Dot parking lot was the place to be, but you could get more than what you bargained for back in those days in Ellijay. Yeah, you could. Ellijay, a mighty fine place to be. Ellijay, good enough for you and me. Yeah. 69 Road Runner, Charger RT, pistol grip 4-speed, 383. Boys, that's the way it all used to be. Right here in Ellijay. Ellijay, a mighty fine place to be. Ellijay, don't you want to come and see? Yeah. Trout fishing, skinny dipping, party all night. Praise the Lord, honey, I saw the white picking on a Telecaster Saturday night on the streets of Ellijay. Ellijay, a mighty fine place to be. You and me floating down the Kusawati. Yeah. Apple blossom, baby possum, muscadine wine. I'm so proud to call a piece of this mine. Drop all your troubles at the welcome sign. I'll see you in Ellijay. Ooh, yeah.
Anyway, Ellijay. Go ahead, Chief.
Yeah, okay. Hi, tell me what your name is. Chase Elliott. Well, that's an interesting name. Do you think your name might have to do something with racing?
Yes, ma'am.
Just a little bit. Are you related to Awesomeville from Dawsonville?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you going to be a trillionaire, Chase Elliott?
I don't know about that, but hopefully work my way up.
I think with your dad's experience, are you listening and paying attention to what he tells you?
Definitely. Just every little piece of advice he gives me.
Right. Well, I've been watching you, and I find you're not intimidated, are you? No, I've seen that. Now, do you feel younger than the guys you're out here competing against?
A little bit.
A little bit. How old are you?
13.
13. Okay, tonight you'll be racing against kids from what, 13 to how old?
I don't even know. I'm pretty old. I'm not sure.
Okay, what kind of engine are you running?
GM Crank.
Okay. Now, do you feel like you're competitive on every aspect from the engine to the tires?
I feel that, from practice we work quite a bit, and I think we'll be pretty good for the race.
Good. Now, do you get into telling your dad what's right about the car and what's wrong about the car?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, just, working on the car, you have to communicate. So that's the main goal.
Right. Can you feel when something isn't just right, and can you relay that to your crew?
Definitely.
That's a really good point in racing, isn't it? Do you think that's why your dad was so good, because he can tell when things are right?
I think so.
Well, okay, where are you going to go from here?
Hopefully, I don't even know. Just got to take it one step at a time, see where you get to.
Right. Did you start in Legends? Because that's when I started watching you.
I started in shifter carts, and I moved to Bandolero, then I moved to Legends, and now I'm in this. So
Right.
working my way up.
How fast will you be running tonight?
No, I'm not sure. I'm running about 14-second laps. I don't know how fast.
It's pretty fast, isn't it? It's pretty fast, is it? Do you have any advice for up-and-coming young drivers who might want to do what you've done?
Just stay focused and, keep, don't lose track of your goal.
That's right.
You have a goal you need to reach for.
Are there ever times that you wanted to say, Dad, I'm not really into racing and I don't want to do this?
No, I mean, you're going to have good days and you have bad days, but you just got to work your way through it.
Right, right. Well, I want to invite you to come and be on my program. We're on live every day, Monday through Friday, so maybe we can work something out with your parents. I'd love to have you there. Thank you so much for this. Thank you.
Hugging each other while we sat out the light. We both popped the clutch when the light turned green. You should have heard the whine from my screaming machine. I flew past the grayish swamps and crescent heights, and all the Jack could see were my six-tail lights. He passed me at Doheny, then I started to swerve, but I pulled her out and there we were at Dead Man's
Well, the last thing I remember, Doc, I started to swerve, and then I saw the Jag slide into the curve. I know I'll never forget that horrible sight. I guess I found out for myself that everyone was right.
Won't come back from Dead Man's Curve.
Dead Man's
Curve. That's just a little bit more than goes over the line. Slip daddy, and coming off the line when the light turns green. She blows him out of the water like you never seen. I get pushed out of shape, and it's hard to steer. When I get rubber in and all four gears, she's my little GTO. You ought to see her on a road course or a corner mile. This little modified ponton has got plenty of style. She beats the gassers and the rail jobs, really drives them wild. Come on and turn it on, wind it up, blow it out, GTO. Yeah, little GTO. Yeah, little GTO. Yeah, little GTO.
said 200 agents were covering the state. Whichever road he tried to take, they'd get him sure as fate. Son, his daddy told him, make this run your last. Your tank is filled with 100 proof. You're all tuned up and gassed. Now don't take any chances. If you can't get through, I'd rather have you back again than all that Mountain Dew. And there was thunder, thunder over Thunder Road. Thunder was his engine and white lightning was his load. Moonshine, moonshine to quench the devil's thirst. The law they swore they'd get him, but the devil got him first. Roaring out of Harlan, revving up his mill, he shot the gap at Cumberland and screened by Maynardville. With G-Man on his tail light, roadblocks up ahead. The mountain boy took roads that even angels feared to tread, blazing right through Knoxville.
Wow. Looking back at the music, the memories, the cars, the way we made a living in these mountains. You know, my granddaddy, I guarantee you, he never had a hot rod car. He never had anything to haul shine in. He made the shine and they had somebody else to haul it. But this is a lifestyle that covered these mountains for a lot of years, and now we look back and it's some pretty cool memories. It's some pretty cool memories. When you think about so many of the folks who are gone, you know, we were lucky enough to interview Jerry Rushing, and he was the original Duke of Hazzard. He was the one who was running that shine when he was 13, 14 years old through the mountains, and didn't get caught much. When he did, he got in a little bit of trouble, but what a great guy. What a great guy, what a great story. And then he turned out to have a ministry, and that was really cool because his life went from one end to the other. But now, speaking of lives going from one end to the other, everybody knows that Dale Earnhardt Sr., the Intimidator, was NASCAR's most popular driver ever. But when they did the polls of fan favorite, Dale Jr. always got fan favorite. He was a nice guy. He was involved in doing a lot of things for the community, and he was reachable. He was doable. He was just a good guy. Sadly, after an accident where he got a concussion, he retired. And when I was looking through this book, from Mark Martin to Rusty Wallace, so many guys had horrific wrecks, and they ended up retiring. So when we look at NASCAR today, it is very, very different from the NASCAR that I grew up in. It is very different because Jeff Gordon's not there. You know, the Gordon and the Intimidator, they had this rivalry that was just unbelievable. And it was either you loved 3 or you loved 24, but you couldn't possibly like them both. Well, they were both great drivers. But you just decided, who were you going to root for? Well, of course, I was all for Dale Sr. Always. My whole life was wrapped around Dale Sr. and where was he racing. We're going to take you now to some recipes, and I will just tell you, I just about had to bribe the boys to come and do a cooking show with me because we took the motorhome to the track. I always cooked and made sure all the kids at the track had something good to eat, either nutritious or easy for me to fix, and we're going to share some of those recipes with y'all right now.
Hi, I'm Cherie Martin, tonight on Heart of the Home. My guest, Troy Davis, is my rival and my buddy. What do we have in common?
We both like gospel singing. And we have a need for speed.
We have a true need for speed. Now, our need for speed goes back to my love for Dale Earnhardt and your love for Jeff Gordon, but you've got me involved in a new need for speed, and it's go-kart racing, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Our children race together, and we have learned to spend time in a motorhome. His wife and I take turns cooking and feeding the kids, and tonight we're going to share a recipe with you called Speed Dogs. And it's exactly what it says. It is speedy, it is easy, it's something the adults like, the children like, and we can do this in the motorhome. We have a small oven in the motorhome, so simple, and easy. We're going to go over the ingredients, and then we're going to talk about our kids, because we're proud of those kids, aren't we? We are. Okay, the ingredients are canned biscuits, and I have used 3 kinds of hot dogs. I used Oscar Mayer, and I used the little sausage, smoky sausage links, and then the Polish sausage too. So, and then all kinds of condiments, anything you can think of to go on a hot dog. Sauerkraut, cheese, chili, Annie's famous slaw that we love. And if you don't eat at Annie's restaurant, you've missed some really good slaw. I wonder how much mustard it would take to cover up that 24. Psh, what do you think? I bet I could do that in one shot. We're going to put the hot dogs together now, and while they cook, we're going to talk a little bit about our kids and how proud we are of them. I started with some canned biscuits that I broke in half, and then I rolled them with my rolling pin to make them flat and thin. I tried this one time without splitting the biscuits, and it was too much bread. So we split the biscuit, and we roll it out with a rolling pin, and then we just place it in our little mitts. And I sprayed my pan with Pam so they won't stick. I think you can do this. I think this is something a man can do. This one has got the little smoky cocktails in it, and my granddaughter Ainsley loves sauerkraut. So this one I usually dress up with kraut and cheese. And the next pan we're going to do for the children, which will be very simple, cheese, and then when they're finished we'll add mustard and ketchup to them, or onions, or slaw, some of Annie's famous slaw. So all of these are so simple and so easy, and it's the kind of thing while the kids are out racing on the track and you're prepping tires and doing all the things you do to get them ready, Cherie and I can run in there and whip this out in about 15 minutes, so it's pretty good. Now these we're going to really do simple. We're going to do some chili and cheese. Some of the kids like chili, some don't. And it's, you know, these are bite size, so it doesn't take much. Now we've got our oven preheated to 345, and we're going to stick these bad boys in there. We're going to cook them a little bit slow. You don't want to cook them too fast. And very quickly, we'll have dinner for about 9 boys. Now, Troy, what do you think? This was pretty speedy, wasn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Pretty speedy. Is that as fast as we go around the track?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, it was. We've got them hot out of the oven, and we're going to dress them up. We're going to do the simple ones with mustard and ketchup for the kids who just like the simple things. And do you like onions and slaw on yours?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so how about a chili cheese? We'll do you a suicide. Is that a good one?
That's good.
Okay, all right. Let's add this. Now, remember, I have to save enough of this to cover that 24. And did you tell me you were going to challenge me to cover my 3 with that ketchup?
I sure did.
That ketchup's not big enough to cover my number 3. Okay, Troy, we made it through this. We haven't hurt each other. We've actually become better friends. And we shared a recipe. We shared a good time. We love having you come and visit with us. Remember when you show up at the track, root for Earnhardt, right? Right?
Gordon.
Gordon Earnhardt. Hi folks, welcome back to Harris Acres and Heart of the Home. I'm Cherie Martin, and today I am joined by Nicholas Martin, my racing son, and Jason Wood, his engine builder, and Michael Wood, who taught you a little bit about racing.
Yeah.
He did. The first time he took you out, did you think you had a knack for this?
No.
And how long did it take you to figure out you did?
This year.
This year. The night you were black flagged, is that the night we figured out you knew what you were doing?
Yeah.
That night, 7 months into racing, you finally kind of got it together, didn't you?
Yeah.
And you learned then. Jason, what did you do? Now he's moved up no restrictor plates?
Yep, no restrictor. He's going to stock.
And he loves that. So you really did love the speed now, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
And we all know your daddy's favorite person was the Intimidator.
Oh, yeah.
And we've always loved racing. It's always been a big part of our family. So thank you, Jason, for bringing him into this
You're
now,
welcome.
because it's a great pastime for kids.
Oh, yeah.
And I know they learn a lot. One of the things they learn is math. If you don't have enough fuel in your tank, you don't finish the race, do you?
That's right.
Have you ever done that?
Not yet.
Not yet. Not yet. I think Brett Miller told me he had done that twice. He had done that twice. So now Nick has done a year in, what was his class, gold?
Gold. Yep.
And you've moved up to what class now?
Animal light and medium.
Animal light and medium. Is that because of your weight or because of your speed?
Both.
And are you more nervous about that?
No, it's a lot better.
I think you did like it that night you came off and you were flying. I was a little bit nervous. Now, what about the night at Thanksgiving Thunder? Did that unnerve you at all?
A little bit. Yeah, it kind of got to me.
It was a bad wreck. And we were very lucky.
Yep.
And the 2 guys that really got hurt ended up being fine, didn't they? So, you know,
Best
guys,
I can tell, it was.
do something that your family loves and do something that everybody can be involved in. And my way of being involved is to cook and take stuff to the track. And y'all all know, life is short, eat dessert first. I love to make desserts. And Miss Fran Kathy, who has stopped me for speeding a few times, gave me this recipe. And it's just a simple
buy an angel food cake, we're going to add a pre-made cream cheese base that's like a cheesecake filling. So normally Fran would have used pudding, but I knew today we're getting ready to go to the track. It's racing season, and we've got to tone down our recipes and make them fast and make them easy to travel with. And this kind of looks like a tire. Now, y'all would prep a tire. I'm going to prep a cake. So, Nick, do you want to put the cream cheese on that?
Yeah.
You can do that. Just put all that cream cheese on top of that. And normally Fran would have used vanilla pudding with this, but I just found this cream cheese and I thought that would be a good taste. Just pile it on top of there, just dollop it all over that. And then we're going to put this other on top of it. We're going to add Cool Whip and we're going to add strawberries. And Miss Lucy made us some awesome chocolate syrup. And it really is going to be so simple and easy, and you can refrigerate it and then take it to the track. And do you have a refrigerator in your trailer, Jason? Have y'all got one?
We used to have a little small one we put in there, but we don't have one anymore.
Well, the motorhome's got one, but it's small, you know.
We take our coolers with us. So.
But I think this will fit in the motorhome refrigerator. Which reminds me, it's time to get the motorhome ready because it's that time of year when you got to fill the gas tanks and do all the things you do. And speaking of gas, now the gas y'all use on the track, is it costing as much now because of the price of fuel? Has the price of that gone up?
Well, actually, the last couple of years it's went up. I believe now we're up close to $5 a gallon.
Wow.
So it's either $4.50 or $5 a gallon.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, during the off season, what have you been doing, Nick? Coon hunting?
Yeah.
Deer hunting? Believe me, I'd rather be racing. I love being at the track. And I love the idea that we have all those hours to hang out together. That looks good. Now we're going to put, here's your tire. You've prepped it. Now we're going to add that to it. Now I want you to put strawberries. Just use your spoon and put strawberries on top of it. Then I'm going to drizzle chocolate on top of it. Then we're going to put Cool Whip on top of that. You can put the berries down inside it. That'll be good. Miss Fran won't recognize this because she used pudding, but I just thought this cheesecake sounded good. And I think almost everybody likes cheesecake. So, and that bowl's perfect. I got that bowl for a Christmas gift. And I said, whoever bought me that bowl must have known exactly what I needed because it is perfect for this cake. Doing a pretty good job, son. Kind of like prepping tires. You just kind of roll with it, don't you? Have you learned anything about prepping tires this year?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Didn't you overheat us? You left some on and kind of ran them a little bit too long?
Yeah, they still want something,
Uh-oh. Were those some you used at Thunder?
No, we used those at Hot Rods.
Oh, okay.
Depends on where you're going.
Right. Yeah, now put some more on top of it. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Just a little around. Then I'm going to drizzle chocolate on top of that. Then we're going to cover it with Cool Whip. And this is probably the quickest and easiest recipe I've done. Now, a recipe for success at the track is a good engine, a really, really good driver, and the newest technology. And sometimes you unnerve me because you're a little bit too smart. And you get into all these detailed things and I'm going, huh?
You got to like it. You got to build a racing engine, you've got to like to build it too, you know. It's still got to be fun.
And what you do actually for a living, you're an engineer.
Yeah, I'm a project manager for a valve company out of Swanee.
So numbers are your thing, and making things right, that's kind of your thing. So I think that's why you're probably a good engine builder, because you understand the dynamics of everything. And that's got a lot to do with it, doesn't it?
Yeah, a lot of trial and error.
Right.
You got to have the equipment and stuff to do it as well. So
right.
It's just a lot of money, a lot of trial and error, and try to get good results.
You know, can you think of some guys who are now NASCAR leaders who started in karting?
I never really tracked it that well.
Jimmy Johnson did.
Yeah, and I think Tony Stewart.
Denny Hamlin. Who's the guy that you like that just moved up from karting?
Yeah, Paul Menard.
Paul Menard. Yeah, he just came from karting.
Trevor Bain just signed with Earnhardt Incorporated, and he just came from go-karts.
Right, right. Right. So, some folks think we're wasting our time at the go-kart track. I disagree with that, because there could be a future in that for these boys. And Michael has spent how many years doing this?
We're going on 8 years.
Right. And it's kept him busy. It's kept him out of trouble. And, this is a world where kids do have opportunities to get in trouble.
Oh, yeah.
And if we're, as a family, at a track every weekend, by George, we know where our kids are on Saturday night, don't we? We know what they're doing, too, because they're killing us, wearing us out. These 3 and 4 o'clock night races.
That's right. They will.
Yeah, but it's worth it.
It's been pretty fun, though.
It's worth it. Now, what do you boys think of that? Miss Brittany, hand me a glass and let's serve these boys. Now, Miss Brittany Timms is joining us, and Miss Brittany sings as pretty as she looks. And one day, I think you will get to see her sing on our show. She is on ETC quite often and is Barry Scott's niece. And your mom sings, doesn't she? Yes, she does. And does a good job of it. Now, guys, what do you think of this? Whoa.
Looks messy.
Looks messy. Smells great. It smells awesome. And this is Miss Fran Kathy's recipe with a little kick to it. We just added the cheesecake filling. You got a spoon? Here, Michael, we'll serve you first. There you go. And remember, guys, this recipe, 2 minutes. You know, this is something you can really impress people with, and it didn't take any effort at all. Buy your cheesecake filling, or if you want to, do like Miss Fran does. She does make a pudding and use in it. And Miss Lucy made me this chocolate sauce that is awesome and very, very simple. So, Jason, there's you one.
Thank you. Saving the best for last.
Saving the best for last. We're saving the best for last. Now, Nick, I want you to try this. And, you know, son, you're 16 years old, and this is the first time you've ever actually cooked. So, now, guys, we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to make something that I learned at the track in South Carolina. And what's it called?
Speed dogs.
Bird dogs.
Oh, bird dogs.
Bird dogs. Bird dogs. When we come back, we're going to teach you another quick and simple recipe you can take to the track. We'll be right back now. Hi, folks. We're back. Boy, I'm impressed with myself. That's the quickest and easiest recipe I've ever done. Now, I have done something cool, guys. Nicholas, where did we go on fall vacation?
Possum Kingdom.
Possum Kingdom in Belton, South Carolina. Yeah. And what did I learn about Possum Kingdom? They ain't got nothing to do with possums, does it? But it's got a lot to do with a chicken dish they have up there that is called what?
The chicken dog, or the speed dog.
Bird dog. It's a bird dog. When I got to the concession stand there, I couldn't believe the lines. And I asked a lady in front of me, I said, why is everybody in here ordering so much food? She said, honey, they make bird dogs. Thank you, Michael. And a bird dog is the simplest recipe you ever saw. Now, Nick, I have fried some chicken tenders. Michael has grilled us some hot dog buns. And you're going to open it and put me a couple of chicken tenders in there. And I am going to make homemade honey mustard sauce. Now, that's the one thing the guys at Possum Kingdom did not make their own sauce. But I'm going to do that while you make a plate full of those. And then we are going to, we put our chicken in, we put our cheese in, we microwave it for just a couple of minutes, and then we're going to add our homemade honey mustard sauce to it. I'm using mayonnaise, Gould's spicy brown mustard, and honey. And I think this is going to be one of those recipes that everybody will like. It's chicken, and it's easy. And we fried the chicken. And I think we did it at about 400 degrees in an electric skillet, which is something you can take to the track. Or if you show up at Possum Kingdom, you can just buy theirs. And it is, I think she sells 1,000 of these a night. I mean, they are awesome. They are really good. And this honey mustard, it just has the mayonnaise and the Gould's mustard. She said she buys hers in gallons, but I had these ingredients at home, and I thought, well, we'll just make our own sauce. So, now while you're doing that, I'm going to slap a little bit of honey mustard down the side of this. And there you go. I dropped the cheese, so I could be fired. You can't fire me. I'm your mama. There you go. I'm going to put a little honey mustard on there before you put the chicken in this time. There you are. Now, is this simple? That honey mustard is good. Wow. That is great. And it's easy. And it's funny, I asked her, I said, how'd you come up with this recipe? She said, it just seemed simple, and we always had hot dog buns. And I thought, this is killer good. There you go. Put your cheese on there, and I'll put some honey mustard on here. And remember, it's just chicken tenders. And we did use fresh chicken tenders. We didn't use frozen. We didn't use the pre-done that I'm sure a lot of restaurants could do. But this is a great recipe. There you go, 2 more. We actually got Michael to cook. Do you realize that? He browned these buns. Now that's something, does he ever cook at home, Jason?
No.
No.
Frozen pizza.
Frozen pizza,
yeah.
Okay. There you go. Let me put the honey mustard on while you do that one. That one's already got honey mustard. There you go. Ooh, that is good stuff. Wow. There you are. Slide it down on there. Now, Michael, what button do you mash at the Martin house for microwave?
Popcorn.
Popcorn, because I can't see any of the other buttons. If I wore my glasses, I might could. I think you're going to like this one. Let me put a little honey mustard on there, then we'll add the cheese. Oh, there is, yeah. This is awesome and so simple. And I think this is the first time we've gotten these boys to do anything that's considered cooking. Y'all have cooked a few tires.
Oh, yes.
Hadn't you?
Quite a bit
And you know,
of those.
speaking of cooking, we almost cooked our building. We had a really bad fire Wednesday night, and we were very fortunate. A lot of volunteers came, the firefighters came, and I was afraid we were going to lose the go-karts, but we didn't. So thank you very much to all the volunteer firefighters who showed up. We had 17 fire trucks there.
Oh, that's good.
We were very fortunate, and thank goodness a passerby called it in because it was on a holiday, and we were very fortunate. Very fortunate. The only damage, the worst damage was me jerking all the computers out of the wall trying to save stuff. There you go. Michael, how's that looking? Now, we grilled our buns.
That is the easiest recipe. You've got to do it for your kids. But now, 18 years later, there are 2 restaurants who are also offering bird dogs. I don't know if they make them like we did. I browned my buns in butter and made the homemade chicken tenders and made my own homemade honey mustard. So I'm not sure how everybody else is doing it, but I can tell you that is a recipe that kids will eat over and over and over again. So try it with your children, or go through a couple of the drive-thrus here in town who have them now, which blew my mind. We were sitting there last night discussing this, and I said, what took them 18 years to decide to put them in a restaurant? Because we've been making them forever. But they are yummy, they are good, they are super simple. But the key is brown your bun in butter. Make it really, really good. So something simple, something fun with your children. That cake recipe was one that Fran gave me, and hers used pudding in it. And I don't know if they still sell that cheesecake mixture that I bought, but I bought it at a Publix, so you can check that out. It was fun. It was yummy. If you've got events coming at church, you want to take something simple, that's about as simple as it gets. It's time for me to sneak on out of here. I hope that you will race through your day with a good day, a positive day, and doing something for somebody else. And if you see that Ronnie Cantrell out there, you tell him, hey, they want to have you on ETC and they want to talk speed and the need for speed. We'll see you again soon on ETC.